Alright, welcome back to Sports Talk NYC. Um, Continuation video of part one of the upcoming NBA season that I simulated via NBA 2K12. So where we left off was the Eastern Conference and Western Conference Finals. Uh, in the Western Conference Finals, we had the Lakers versus the Spurs, and in the Eastern Conference Finals, we had Miami versus Brooklyn. Yeah, don't turn off your TV sets. That actually happened in my simulation. So, the Lakers took care of the Spurs in 6 games. Always a tight series, no matter what. Here's the kicker, pretty much. Miami versus Brooklyn went 7 games with Brooklyn beating Miami. I was in complete shock when I saw that, and I couldn't believe the fact that 7 games. They didn't take care of Miami, but they got out of there, and they're headed to the finals versus the Lakers. And in my mind, I'm thinking, wow, these guys probably are going to win it. They beat Miami. They'll probably beat the Lakers. Well, sorry, any Brooklyn Nets fans like myself. The Lakers versus the Nets in the finals ends up being the Lakers in 5, with the MVP being Dwight Howard. So, lots of surprises during the season. Lots of first-time All-Stars. Lots of teams that somewhat came out of nowhere and made it to the playoffs. I did not expect teams like the Milwaukee Bucks, the Toronto Raptors, the Memphis Grizzlies, even the Golden State Warriors. Like, I like the way that team is built, but I don't think they'd make it to the playoffs. But they're a 6 seed, so that's something. Let's see. Do I think any of this will actually happen? To an extent. To an extent. I know a lot of this sounds really, really crazy, but to an extent, I think some of this will happen. I do think the Heat will run through everybody in the regular season. That much I know. Will they get to 70 wins? I don't know. I can picture them getting anywhere from 60 to 65. But 70, that's a very high number. Chicago went 56 and 26, and I think without Derrick Rose, they still make the playoffs, I think. I think they have a good enough squad to make the playoffs. I don't think they're a number 2 seed. I can see them pushing for a 6 through 8 seed without Rose. If he misses the whole season, if he misses part of the season, that all depends. But without Rose the whole season, a 6 through 8 seed. With Rose, healthy and playing at his level, 2 through 4. Easy. The Knicks grab the 3 seed. I can see that happening. They have a good team. It just has to come together. Milwaukee grabbed the 4 seed, which was a huge surprise. And that was pretty much without Andrew Bogut, who was a big mainstay. But they got Monte Ellis in return. Uh, I don't think they'll be a 4 seed. I don't think they'll make the playoffs, let alone be a 4 seed. Boston, I think it's gonna be hard for me to say this because I like Boston, but Boston probably doesn't make the playoffs next year. I don't see them making the playoffs. They're getting older, and I know we've brought up this card many, many times before. And they made it to the conference finals last year and really gave Miami a good run for their money. But without Ray Allen, it's going to be hard. I know they have Jason Terry now, pretty much being the direct replacement for Ray Allen, but I don't think that's good enough. Ray Allen is probably one of the best, if not the best, clutch three-point shooters in the NBA now and in all time. So Jason Terry's a great, just accurate pinpoint shooter, but he's no Ray Allen. The Brooklyn Nets come in at the 6th seed. I see them going higher than that. I know, living in Brooklyn, the bias is going to be there, but I seriously think they can push for a 3 to 5 seed. They can get to the top 4, I think, depending on what happens with every other team, of course. Toronto, the 7th seed, probably not going to happen. I do love Andrea Bargnani. He's one of those. He's pretty much like a Dirk Nowitzki clone. And the fact that he hasn't done better, and the fact that the Raptors haven't gone higher because of him, is a little mind-boggling. Can they make the 7th seed? Maybe, depending on how the rest of the East pans out. Because now you have teams like the Magic, without Dwight Howard, I don't see them making the playoffs. And the Sixers, without Lou Williams and Andre Iguodala, I don't see them making the playoffs either, even if they have Andrew Bynum. I don't see it. And the Atlanta Hawks take a step back, who have normally been a top 4 team in the East for most of these years, slide to a number 8 team without Joe Johnson. I can see them doing better than that. I can see them pushing probably to the 5 or 6 seed. Lou Williams he's going to be their starting point guard. Excuse me. They still have Josh Smith, who is one of the most versatile players in the NBA. And if Al Horford can put it back all together again, that team can be just as formidable without Joe Johnson as they were. Not to say Johnson was holding them back in any way, but it's going to be a different dynamic. So we'll see where they go. In the West, the Clippers grabbing the 1 seed. It's possible. They have a great team there. Paul, Griffin, Jordan. The Clippers have a good team there, and just more time together to gel is going to make them better. The Lakers grabbing the number 2 seed seems about right. In the West, I didn't say this before, but in the West, the top 3 teams, Clippers, Lakers, and Thunder, all had the same record of 54 and 28. So I guess what became splitting hairs with the Clippers being 1, Lakers 2, Thunder 3, could have gone either way. I see the Lakers grabbing the 1 seed by far. Nash, Howard, Kobe, Jameson, Artest, Gasol. That team is pretty much ready to win another championship. The Thunder, who were in the finals, I wouldn't say they were close to winning the finals at all, but they were in the finals last year, certainly can picture a number 1, 2, or 3 seed easily. Dallas, that's an interesting one. You know, Dallas loses one of their rocks, Jason Terry. They lose one of the best point guards to ever play in the league in Jason Kidd. Though getting older, he was a key part to that team. So now you have Dirk Nowitzki, and they've made some small signings along the way, and Chris Kaman and Darren Collison, but I don't think that's enough. Dirk is Dirk. Dirk will play at an MVP level. I don't think that's enough. Could they possibly still get a 8 spot? Sure they could. I don't see the Memphis Grizzlies grabbing an 8 spot this season, so if they don't, then Dallas definitely could. The Spurs, 48 and 34. Once again, I don't know how they do it. The team is getting older. They're getting wiser. I get that, but I don't get how they continue to have this success. And I can see them in the playoffs again just because of it. A 5 seed seems about right. The Golden State Warriors at 6 it's a good pick. I don't think it'll happen, but it is definitely a good pick. That team went under some renovation to their roster, getting rid of Monte Ellis, but they still have Steph Curry. They still have former Knick and one of my favorite players, David Lee, and they also have Andrew Bogut now. So that front court could definitely be one of the better ones in the NBA. With that said, outside of Curry, who's going to be probably their best player, there isn't too much offensive help. We've seen that David Lee could average 20 plus a game. Whether that was just in a contract year where he knows he was leaving, who knows how he'll perform. Denver as a number 7 seed could be too low. I see them going a lot higher. That team looks like it's ready, and it's going to shine bright in the West. They just got AI, the new AI, Iguodala. They still have JaVale McGee, who is one of the better centers in the league. They let go of Aaron Aflalo, but they still have a good team there. Ty Lawson is a solid point guard. There's a lot going on in Denver, so I definitely see them grabbing possibly the 4 or 5 seed this year. Then we have the Grizzlies at 8. I don't see them at 8 at all. They lost O.J. Mayo. They still have Rudy Gay. I get it. I don't think it's going to happen. Sorry, Memphis. I could see the Timberwolves grab the 8 seed if they really put it all together. If Ricky Rubio can stay healthy all year, if Kevin Love can keep doing what he's doing, I don't see what's going to stop them from an 8 seed. I don't. Do I see the Lakers winning a championship this year, like the simulation said? Yes. Yes, I do. I'm not a bandwagon fan at all. The Lakers, year in, year out, look like they're going to win the whole thing. Miami. So the Lakers winning means that Miami's not gonna win. Sorry, I do believe that. LeBron's going to come in with a whole bunch more experience now that he's won a title, now that he just won gold at the Olympics. He's coming in with a lot. He's coming in more decorated, but that doesn't mean that the old LeBron James can't still show up. He can still be the one of the worst. Let's see how I put this. One of the worst clutch stars in the NBA. He can still be that player. On the other hand, he can still be the beast that he was in the playoffs last year. So, depending on which LeBron shows up, we'll see where Miami goes. With that said, the NBA season is more than a month away, but personally, I'm ready.